The Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
We talked about it a little bit earlier this morning, but obviously the news overnight with all the flights in and out of Doha being impacted, and it's like...
You're going to Turkey, Nat?
I'm going to Turkey via Dubai, and when you look at a map, Dubai, you can pretty much, from Dubai, you can see Iran. And that Strait of Hormuz that they're talking about, the Iranians blockading to stop 20% of the world's oil getting through, is there. That's where it is. That's the strait.
Yeah, so people could have a fight there.
Yes.
Because they're blocking it, for instance.
Yes. And so you go, as I said yesterday, I don't want to make this whole Middle Eastern conflict about me.
A lot of people are flying to Europe, though.
A lot of people. This is the time of year when everybody is getting out of here and going to Europe, and most people will fly through either Dubai or Doha. That's the reality of how most of us get there.
When we had Susannah here just a minute ago, you were talking the fact that you went through the insurance detail, the disclaimers and everything to make sure that you're covered.
And it's a bit unclear about... conflict. There's things about acts of terrorism, there's things about weather events, there's things about
quad bikes.
The things that you can do yourself. Yeah, quad bike. You're not my insurance. This policy, which is their standard policy of this company, you're not insured if you ride a quad bike, Shaun.
Fair call.
Really?
Yeah.
Just get a three-wheeler. Easy. Got him with fine print. Yeah, in your face, Tubby Rubbles.
So I'm reading that. I'm following Smart Traveller. I've never read Smart Traveller more religiously than I am at the moment because we're a week and a half away from. I go on Friday week.
Hopefully, go.
I know.
You've had terrible luck.
I have had bad luck. So let's go through my bad luck. So last year I couldn't get home from Prague because of the floods in Dubai. Closed the airport for a couple of days.
You're stuck in Dubai in the airport?
That was a different... So that was coming back from... No, I was stuck in Prague on that one.
Oh, this is another one.
Yeah,
Cloud seeding.
That's what it was. Then the time before that, I was going from here to London on the direct flight, and somebody had a medical emergency. Yeah. And we ended up in Singapore, missed my connection to Copenhagen.
You can't get mad at that, could you?
No, and nobody was mad at it. Yeah. It's just everybody was very accepting of the situation, and he survived. So the fact that we ended up stopping in Singapore saved somebody's life.
Yeah,
but
saved
also,
a life.
It's just that curse of my travel curse.
Yeah,
I got through so many years of not having hassles, and then all of a sudden I had hassles. But the time before that, 2019, when I went to Morocco and got stranded in Dubai for 2 days because I missed my connection because the flight out of Casablanca was just late.
You missed the opportunity to marry a bloody a sheikh then and just live the life.
Yeah, go on a private jet.
Yeah,
I know. I was in a terrible... I want to say airport, transit hotel near the airport. Wasn't in the airport, and it was just awful.
What about your hiking holiday?
Hiking holiday cancelled because I did my knee getting out of bed. So I still went on the trip, but I couldn't the actual hiking bit of it. And that's when I discovered that there's a limit to how much you can claim back for cancelled plans. So the cancelled tour, it was $4,000 was the actual hiking part of it. I only got $2,000 back for my insurance, even though it was because I hadn't read that bit about how there was a restriction.
Ross.
You have to pay more.
What have you done in your past lives or this life that you have such karma?
I mean, there has been offset, though. So one time coming back from Jamaica, I got upgraded to first class between New York and Dubai.
Yeah.
So that paid for that. And on the way back so I just went to Mexico and LA, although I nearly missed the plane back because the president was staying at my hotel and the Uber couldn't get anywhere near.
Of course.
Yeah. I know.
But when you came back from Mexico, you had all those drugs with you, so that's paid for it.
I know, but I did and I got bumped up to first class again. Then my points upgrades came through.
Points, you say?
In both directions. Hello.
But this one, Nat, in particular, you had difficulty with your visa for Turkey. That was an episode for all of us.
Yes, that's right. It was.
This is happening.
Yes.
Sometimes you've got to just go with the feeling that the world is deciding that it's not the place for you.
It's against you.
A lot of people buck the
Sorry.
trends. Yeah, but people buck the trends when they see the omens.
So what you're saying is I shouldn't go?
Yeah.
But
Ross told you a hot air balloon story just recently.
Yeah, I'm not going hot air ballooning. I have made that decision, even though Susannah Carr was trying to make me do it.
She was.
What you're saying, I should look at the signs and pay attention.
The signs say no.
The signs are that we're on the brink of World War III.
Well, yeah,
you think I should take that into account?
All of us collectively, at some stage, we've had the sign, whatever signs they were, come towards us, and we've pressed ahead. I want to hear from people who said, no, take the signs, don't go, for whatever reason.
And that was vindicated.
Vindicated.
They're going to be down
Maybe,
stories, aren't they?
maybe when you missed the sign, like all these things went wrong, and you went, "No, I'm going anyway," and like, "No, that wasn't a good move."
Let me tell you about my friend Helen's wedding. So tragically, the bridesmaid died of anaphylaxis a month before.
Oh.
Helen,
Anaphylaxis?
Yes, and to prawns, and she'd never reacted to prawns before. So that sets it as a baseline of how awful. The bride, Helen, got chicken pox 2 weeks before, and she had massive scars, big boxy scars all over, and she was supposed to be wearing a strapless dress. The wedding was on the groom's mum's little farm in a place called Lancefield, which is out of Melbourne. Their car, they were going up to set up all the lanterns and things in the garden and everything, and the car broke down. The dog ran away.
There's a lot. It's not just
and
one.
then on the day, howling gale and horrendous weather. It was February, and the weather the day before had been 36 degrees. At the time of the wedding, it was 14.
And she still went through
it. So the wedding was supposed to be at so we had the ceremony, which was bad enough, and then the reception was supposed to be in the garden, and they'd set up all these lanterns just getting blown around, and the weather was wild. So we had to go inside the house, tiny little house. We all crammed in there. They lit the fire, and there was something in the chimney, and the whole house got smoked out, and smoke alarms went off. And then they went up onto there was a little mezzanine at the top to do like a quick speech, right? Yeah. And as Helen was walking back down, her $300 shoes, both the heels snapped off. Oh. They've been married for 20 years and they're still
20
together.
years, okay.
So don't listen to the Omens.
Okay, no.
Meg's in Claremont. Hi, Meg.
Hey, how are you?
Good, Meg.
Meg, were there a whole lot of signs telling you shouldn't do something, and did you do it?
Yeah, damn straight.
Yeah.
Straight.
Okay, what happened?
So I just come back from 4 weeks in Europe where I'd busted my toe.
Yep.
So that was fine. So then my sister came out from New York, and we kind of like meet in Queensland every year. And I went, I don't really fancy kind of like going because I've just come back from Europe for 4 weeks. But I thought, I bet it's my sister's. So I fly over there, and it's all good. They got sick, so I went, okay, well, I'm going for a walk into the rainforest. I went for a walk in the rainforest at dusk, didn't realise there was no phone reception, fell over a metre and busted both ankles and a leg.
In the rainforest.
With no phone to ask for help.
No phone reception at dusk, so I walked myself out the rainforest and drove myself to the hospital.
With 2 broken ankles?
2 busted ankles, took out all the ligaments and busted a leg. It was the end of last year.
How was the walk out of the rainforest like that?
And the drive.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was good fun.
That is hectic.
But it was worth seeing your sister.
Absolutely. I saw her for a couple of hours. That was it.
You saw her for a couple of hours? She didn't come visit you in hospital?
Yeah, and then we were supposed to have dinner, so I sent them a text message going, oh, sorry, can't make dinner. I'm in the hospital. I've busted my ankles and legs. And they didn't believe it.
No.
That does sound like something I would do, though, to be fair.
Yeah.
So you should have listened to yourself when you said, I can't make it. I've just got back from a big trip. I'm not going to do it. Because if you'd listened to that,
exactly.
if you'd listened to yourself, none of this would have happened.
But what a story. You know, it's character building stuff, ligament damaging.
Right, thank you. yeah, not great for your joints, but great for your character. Thanks, Meg. Sam is in Ellenbrook. Hi, Sam.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Morning,
we're talking about whether we should listen to the omens, look at the signs or not. What have you got for us?
I should have listened to mine.
Okay.
We had so many omens before we got married. We separated and decided whether we try the reconnect thing. So we set a date to go out on a jet boat ride down at Lisbon Keys.
That was your reconnect jet boat ride?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was going to be heaps of fun. We were trying really hard to reconnect. The night before, I was like, no, I can't do this. I don't want to do this. Full backed out, full cold feet, called everyone I could. Like, guys, cover for me. Someone just take over this spot so I don't have to go. No one covered for me.
Oh, yeah.
So we got there, and I broke my leg in 7 places before I even got on the jet boat ride. It took me 18 months to learn how to walk again. He looked after me for 18 months.
Did he?
Then we broke up.
Oh, then you broke up. No. Yeah, once you got your ability to walk back, you're like, I'm out of here.
Yeah, she's walking off with me. I'll get in first.
I mean,
done now.
To his credit, the fact he did stay and look after you, because I thought you were going to say that showed you his true character. But no, he stuck by you then, and then once you were fully able, he was like, nah, I'm out.
No, I should have listened to the omens. It should never have happened.
How did you break your leg?
I fell down the curb.
Oh, Sam.
That's so, like,
all these things in Natalie Locke, this is what happens.
Out of
yeah,
bed.
it happens to people, Sean. And by people, I mean me.
Yes.
I mean me. Yeah, no, I've done that too. Sam, that's, yeah. So, I don't know. Sam, from your experience of not listening to the particular Omens, do you think that I should get on a plane to Turkey next Friday?
It's an experience, though. Like,
Yeah, okay, I'm in then. No, that's enough.
What would happen if you don't get this experience?
Oh, I'd have to go to Bali with the McManus family.
No one wants that. No one wants that.
That could be
You've got to
right.
have
You've sold
genuine
me.
Turkish delights.
Yeah, I'm going to do that.
And the Tadakan, don't forget, Sean. Recommending.
Turkey spread.
obviously.
Yeah.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
Royalty in the house, the one, the only, the Queen of Perth.
Oh,
Susannah Carr.
Welcome.
Morning,
back,
Susannah.
Susie.
so nice to see you.
It
I
is.
know.
Ross just gave you a bit of word of warning too. What did you say, Ross?
I said no swearing, please, and then we all laughed because when do you ever swear?
In the car.
Oh, are you a road rager? Are you?
No, I'm not, but I'm a reactor.
Okay, and
Yeah, okay.
what level of swear words do you go?
It depends on the offence.
yeah.
So somebody pulls in front of you without indicating. That's
You know the ones who drive you crazy, the ones who do something stupidly wrong, like
Yes.
pulling in front of you when you're on the roundabout or whatever.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then they give you the finger.
I know. That happened to me yesterday.
I know.
How could it be to get the
yes.
finger from Susannah Carr back though?
No, I haven't given anyone the finger. Maybe I should.
But you've thought it in your
I
mind.
have to put a mask on
Yeah.
first.
Yeah,
I can
snaps their
imagine.
ties. That's nice. Hey, that'll get you. Try going fast now.
The rest of the time, no
Mild-mannered.
profanities. Very
Not really.
mild-mannered, very
Not
well
really.
behaved.
Susanna, how long has it been now since you've started reading the news? How long you guys have been together for?
40 years. Yeah, we had our big 40th.
Remember?
Do you ever
With the
think
coin?
I mean, you'd be asked about this a lot. How long do you think you just keep going? You enjoying it?
Yes, this is the
You
thing.
actually are.
And the trouble with news is that it just keeps
Even
getting
with
more
Rick, you are
fascinating.
enjoying it.
We actually get along
No,
pretty
I know.
well.
Yeah.
I mean, we're so sort of different in many ways,
Yes.
and yet it works. It really
Yeah.
works.
Yeah.
So Paul Rick's off at the moment. He had his rotator cuff operated on.
Oh, yes, okay.
So he can't put a jacket on.
Yeah, so that's why he can't read the news, because he can't put a
I think
jacket
he's
on.
got his arm strapped to his
Yeah.
body or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Susanna, I remember when we were down south one time and I was in the water and Rick had caught a wave and he dislocated his shoulder.
Oh,
and,
I wonder if
and
it's
there's
the same
all these
one.
people carried him up the beach really and then had to
You know
drive
the way
him
people
home.
carry you at the beach as well.
Yeah. And I reckon it was a few years ago. I reckon that was probably the damage that occurred in
It
that
probably
occasion.
was. Well, he did it surfing. I know
Yeah.
that.
So you were there, Sean. You were
Yeah, I was
there.
out in the water. I think
And did you
I think
help?
Drew Banfield helped.
Oh,
I know, I
no, the
definitely did
answer's
help.
no. The waves are
you
too
guided
good.
other people to help.
Somebody should go and help Rick.
Busy.
Now, Susan, the reason we've got you in is because
Yeah.
the City2Surf, it's happening on Sunday, August 31. It is an institution.
It
Everybody
is.
knows and loves the City2Surf. Early bird prizing closes in just a couple of days' time, so on
Yeah.
June 30th. So get in early.
Absolutely. Register now because we
Yes.
need as many people as possible to go. It's such a good thing and it's such good fun too.
And there's lots of options because you don't have to run the whole way.
Or
so you
walk.
don't. Yes, that's right. So there's a 12K, there's a 4K as well.
Yep.
And which is what Susannah and I are going to be doing. We're
Yep.
walking the 4K together in sync,
Absolutely.
perfectly
Yeah.
synced. Yeah, we might hold out.
Skip.
We might skip for a few steps, but mostly we'll be walking. Just because it is such a wonderful thing to be a part of, isn't it?
And it's a great location to walk from and
Yes,
to as well.
that's true.
And I don't think I could do the city one because I'm terrified of that hill that you take
Yes,
off.
yes.
I mean, when you start a race and you go up
Yeah.
that hill, that's for serious people.
Yeah, and also your western suburbs only. So got to be within a sniff of the
I
ocean.
know. How does she get into Osborne Park every night? That's what I want to know.
My phone guides me.
Ross, you've emceed the City2Surf many a time. What do you like about it?
Well, you said it's fun. I would disagree. I'd say it's fun afterwards.
True.
It's a great
If you've
accomplishment.
done the run.
Yeah, if you do. But if you go with someone, I went with our audio guy, Zach, and I had a ball, but he was struggling. But you have a bit of a
So
chit-chat.
that's good then, because you feel a bit superior.
Yeah,
don't
you do.
Yeah,
And then you push each other.
Puts a
like,
spring
"Come
in your
on."
step.
And
Yeah.
actually, what we did, there was a shark in front of us. Someone dressed as a shark, and I said our only goal is to beat
That was
that
Amy.
shark.
Yeah.
Well, it could have been. Actually,
Amy Shark, not our producer. Amy.
Oh, yeah, that makes more sense. But, yeah, and you just have a bit of fun with it. So, yeah, it's about being with people. And you two together, can people just, like...
Oh, no, they can't come near us.
Okay. Security.
We have an exclusion zone.
No, of course they can come and hang with us, but they're not allowed to outpace us. They have to let us walk slightly in front.
Because we'll be talking a lot as well.
Yes,
I mean, there's a lot of talking goes on.
Yeah.
Because Susannah and I both love travelling, so we've got a lot to talk about there.
We do. We do.
I'll be able to tell you all about my trip to Turkey if I get to go.
Yeah, we get there.
I hope you do.
I know.
It's a little bit in the trouble zone.
I know, right?
They're saying there's a ceasefire at the moment, but I listened to your piece with Liam, which was really good this morning.
Yeah,
but
just
things
trying to
can
get
change in the Middle East.
This is the thing, right? And I've been reading that. I've been doing, checking. Yesterday, I read my travel insurance policy from start to finish. That was a lot, but also, and I've subscribed to the Smart Traveller updates.
Yes.
So they'll send updates as soon as they come through. But I am looking at that thing, checking that thing so regularly, because if they then say, no, you can't go there, then you're no longer insured. So there's a lot to look at. Yeah. You've got to be across it. And as you said, it changes all the time.
If you were Natalie, because she was in Turkey, they do a lot of hot air ballooning.
I've done hot air ballooning in Turkey.
Was it a good experience?
Yeah.
Because
it was amazing. Are you going to Cappadocia?
Yes, I am. Yes.
65 balloons went up at dawn. It was sensational.
Well, I promised my mum and dad I wouldn't do it.
Do it.
I know, but Ross...
I'm going to butt in here. I went to that same place and did it, and midway during the flight, they said we need to go down and somebody has to get off immediately because we're in a bit of trouble.
And by get off,
they put too
jump
many
out.
people on.
I don't know what happened, but they pulled it down and said as soon as it's near the ground, we must have people get off. I jumped off as soon as I could, and then they just go off again. But it was quite
you were just ballast.
Yes, yes, that's exactly what it was. And of course, there's been a couple of bad ballooning accidents worldwide in the last few weeks, and I'm like, there's all the signs are saying don't go ballooning.
Well, they're pretty adept at it. It's really well organised. I mean, yes,
outside of mine.
Can you ring my mum and dad and tell them, because they were very happy when I said I don't think I'll do it.
It's the best way to see the area, though.
Was it amazing? Was it? And how long do you stay up for?
I think we were up for maybe half an hour or so.
It is peaceful once you're up there because
beautiful.
There's no like engine roaring.
Until they let that flame thing off.
Yeah, until then.
And it's such an incredible landscape because they call it the Valley of the Troglodytes. It's those incredible formations that people actually lived inside.
Yeah.
And we went there because my husband, when he was about 13 or 14, I think, his dad made a documentary there.
Did he?
Wow. Yeah. So they went there. He and his brother went with their dad, and they lived in one of those troglodyte houses. And at that stage, there were no tourist coaches, hotels, or anything like that. So he's got pictures of him on a donkey outside one of those places, and he said, I've got to show you this. So we went there, and of course now it's a major tourist hotspot.
Yeah, pretty much if you go to Turkey, you go to this place. Like it's guaranteed that you're going to go there,
Being a traveller, as you said, just like Natalie, what's the most amazing... What places that we wouldn't think that, not the main New York?
Not Paris.
I was just mentioning it to Nat. Last year we went to Georgia, the country of Georgia.
Okay.
Which we actually flew up over the middle of Iran.
Straight over Iran,
In fact, I remember Chris saying, there's Isfahan. And we looked out and there was Isfahan, which they've just bombed.
Yep.
Yes.
And Georgia was absolutely mind-blowingly good. It's a beautiful country. The mountain ranges, the Caucasus, are higher than the Swiss Alps. The skiing there in winter is apparently sensational.
Really?
There's all this paragliding and everything there. You can go hiking. The countryside is just so beautiful. Rivers everywhere. The oldest vineyards in the world. So
are in Georgia. Wow.
A huge wine industry there. Tbilisi, the capital city, is fabulous. It's a bit run down, and they've got all these amazing old houses that don't get done up because nobody can prove who owns them back previous to the Soviet era.
Of course.
And so, I'd go there. We hired a guide, and she was amazing. She had her own car and drove us all around through the countryside, went up to the Russian border. It was fabulous.
How about that, Sean?
Oh, it's amazing. And I think a lot of us, like me, for instance, any places around that Middle Easty area, you feel
this is on the Black Sea,
right?
just below Russia.
It's a former Soviet state. So it was a part of Russia back in the day. Yeah.
They're not that keen on the Russians, but they've got a fairly pro-Russian new government. The government's a little bit of an issue at the moment because a lot of the young people really want want to align with Europe.
I bet.
And some of the others want to more align
They
with
want to get
Russia.
into Eurovision.
They want to align with Russia, or they're told to align with Russia.
Well, Russia has a fair influence in there, but it's got some really funky hotels. It's got a great art scene. The food is beautiful. It's really real, and they've got some of the best growing ground in the world. And we went to when we were in the countryside, we stopped at a restaurant for lunch, and they just got trout out the river.
Oh.
And as you know, can't get fresher than that.
Yeah,
that was amazing.
That's wild.
Yeah.
And what's next on the list? Where would you like to go next? Major conflict notwithstanding, obviously.
One trip that we did book and we cancelled.
It'd be funny if you say Bali.
No, it was Iran, actually.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I would love to go to Iran.
Yes.
I might wait a few years.
Yes, probably now's not the time.
But I've got friends who've been there who said the Iranians are the most welcoming people there. It's a fantastic place with so much history, and it's huge. It's a very, very big country. So one day I'll go there.
Yeah, just put it on hold for a couple of weeks.
Yes.
All right, that'll be after. You'll have to go after we do the City2Surf.
Absolutely.
Of course.
Check out the City2Surf. It is happening August 31st, but you need to register now to get a bargain. Early bird pricing closes on June 30, so hurry up. Susannah Carr, I will see you there.
You will.
We'll be in our finest active wear, ready to go. Thank you.
Susanna.
And of
Thanks,
course,
Nat. Thanks,
7
Sean.
News. You know where to find her.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
Great news, everyone. You can catch the fine stylings of our friend Sean McManus on Maggie Dent's podcast, The Good Enough Dad. Your episode has dropped, Sean.
Yeah, it's a great photo, Ross.
I was saying the photo's a freeze frame of what it looks like Sean's chewing tobacco and about to spit it out. And that's the photo they picked. But Maggie said, he's honest about when he's stuffed up raising his children, but embraces the lessons he's learned along the way. So.
Yeah, and I try to embrace being a dad, and therefore on Friday night was a great moment for me because I was embracing getting involved in a TikTok.
Oh, classic.
Sean
Dads of TikTok
and
story.
TikTok are like oxymorons.
Yeah, so on Friday night, and my wife tries to do this often, and it depends who's around, but she will do a pasta night for the boys, playing footy and
you would have a lot of drop-ins, I presume.
Yeah, I reckon there was probably 10 over the other night. And Sunny, my daughter, wanted to do a few TikToks, and one was just shaking hands with different perspective and different hands shaking, and I didn't know what that was all about. So anyway, I tried to be involved.
Yeah. She said, no thanks.
No thanks. So then the next TikTok was kind of like we're all kind of posing in a group, and I stood to the back. In front, and Sonny wanted to get involved, was a young guy who plays for the West Coast Eagles on their squad, Harvey Johnson. He comes over regularly, and he's so lovely and that's an oxymoron, right? He's the West Coast Eagles guy.
Sean.
Is that the right word?
Oh, I thought you were saying he's West Coast Eagle and he's lovely.
He is. No, he is.
No,
he's really lovely to Megan, and he's beautiful to Sonny, and I couldn't speak highly enough as a human being.
Well, let's rewind. So they would have said something like, Mr. McManus, can you do a TikTok with us?
Mr. McManus.
Mr. McManus, I'm in my own home.
I know, but like...
Sir is what I asked him.
My Lord.
So Sonny's like, well, get Harvey in, get Dad in. Dad, you sit in the background. Harvey's at the front, blah, blah, blah. And then the girls around us. So
Did that sting a bit? Harvey's at the front?
No, I was thinking, I'll just be in the background,
it's slightly out of focus.
Yep, hopefully. And then the next day, when I was driving Sonny to football, she's gone, Dad, that TikTok we did the other night has blown up.
Are you viral?
22,000 views. And she's going through all the numbers, and I'm like, oh, thanks for coming. You got to get me in these things more often. She said, not because of you. No one knows who you are. It's because we put Harvey in.
Has Harvey played a game yet?
He played last year. He's working his way through the waffle form at the moment. But
and how many games have you played, Sean?
228.
I don't count.
But
nobody knows who I am, and they don't watch for that. Ross, is what I was told and reiterated through the drive from Eastern Mantle to Jandakot on the weekend.
Yeah.
I feel like your audience is not on TikTok, though, Sean.
It's the reality of how your kids see you, Ross. Or don't see you.
Everything that you've achieved in your life, you did before she was born.
Yeah, before TikTok.
I mean, this broadcasting career's got nothing to do with it. I do remember one time, this is how much Sunny disregards what her father does. Yeah. So there were, because I walk the dog where the kids play football and train for football. And Sean posted a video of this, and it was me being cornered by Sunny and all her mates on the oval, and they were all saying, hey, can you say my name on the radio? And I'm like...
Classic.
First of all, Sonny, we say your name on the radio all the time. And like, why wouldn't you ask your dad?
Yeah.
Because he's nobody.
That guy that you see at home.
So they wanted
every
you to
night.
say it, not
Yes.
him. So you have to sit him down and go, listen, I was kind of a big deal.
They don't listen. I think I've done it so often that they just... But it's always good to be put back in your box, which I am.
Yeah. You're well and
Not a
truly
freak.
back in it now.
Okay,
You're
can we get a hold of this, Vision?
Yeah, we
we'll find
want to
it
see the
somehow.
TikTok.
I want to see Sean
All right.
McManus in TikTok.
We'll post it on our socials.
Yeah.
So I think that's so. And so we'll make you
Well, it's
go
blown up,
viral,
Ross.
not Harvey.
Nathan, Nat, and Sean is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au. Nova.